All right, welcome everybody. Today we have a special masterclass on using AI to accelerate your Amazon growth. I'm super excited to have my good friend Chris Rawlings with us. How's it going, Chris? Welcome.
What's up, guys? What's up, Gary? I'm happy to be back, dude.
Excellent. So Chris is a alumni of Seven Figure Seller Summit. He's also
Yes.
founded Sophie Society, and what impresses me most about Chris is he actually comes from a science background. He had a degree in some advanced science
Physics.
major in physics that's like way over my head. I think it's way over a lot of people's heads, but I'm thrilled that he's with us today to share about one of the hottest topics around the world right now, using AI, using tools like Chat GPT, and how to apply this to accelerate your Amazon growth. So I think this is really cutting edge, guys. I'm super excited to have Chris on this live mastermind. And um, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll try to answer them as soon as we can. Some of them we will stay until the end. All right. So welcome, Chris. So can you quickly share who's this training for today and why is this so important?
Yeah, this is something I've been nerding out about for the past 2 months, basically. Um, so this is the year, 2023 is the year with a major transition happening for us entrepreneurs. It's like for the entire course of human history, the most powerful skill a human can have is to gather other people and inspire and motivate and organize them to accomplish a goal and to lead those people to attack a challenge or an opportunity or a goal, right? That's what presidents do. It's what the CEOs and founders of every company does. Everyone from Elon Musk to Donald Trump, to Gandhi, they all had this same skill between them, which was to inspire and motivate and organize people to accomplish something or to attack a challenge. This year, that changes. From now forward, throughout the rest of your lives, your entrepreneurial lives, there's another all powerful skill that sits next to this. That's still important, but another one is becoming closer and closer to that skill, and that is the ability to command artificial intelligence effectively to accomplish a goal. And it's going to be just as important as inspiring and leading people. So, and it's when people say it, when I say that, like people give me weird looks sometimes, but it's 100% true. We're just going to see it more and more. And you guys are going to see it today. I'm going to show you guys some ways to use specifically Chat GPT. But this is just the beginning. Chat GPT is a big deal right now, but there are going to be tons and tons of AI tools. It's going to be as ubiquitous as anything else in our new digital lives, like search engines.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
but
mean, yeah.
specifically, yeah, but specifically, we'll go over how to use ChatGPT to grow your Amazon brand. So yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is cutting edge stuff, and I feel like, everybody in the room today, I mean, we're going to be the early adopters, right? Getting on this first,
Hmm.
kind of on that curve. We're just starting. So we're kind of like, the first people like running out of the Apple store with like the first ever iPhone. We're just going to run wild with this thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, I'm super excited. So without further ado, Chris, I know we got a lot to cover. Would you like to go ahead and share your screen and let's get into this?
yeah, sure. Yeah, so I got some slides. I'll share with you guys. We'll do this mastermind style. So Gary's going to be the sort of the moderator. So if you guys have questions or clarifications live, you can put them in the chat, and Gary will interrupt me so that we can keep this going, and we can have this be an interactive thing. So yeah, it'd be great if you guys didn't just have this in the background, but actually were looking at this, had it in front of you, and focus on it. I'm telling you, like, this is going to change your life. This is not a shiny object or some random thing. This is the future of the rest of your entrepreneurial life. So it's worth paying attention to, and it's worth starting to master now. All right, so let's just get right into it. Because I told Gary we were going to do this like rapid fire value, no BS, no anything. So AI, especially ChatGPT, which we're going to be going over today, we're going to be going over some use cases which you guys are going to find really interesting. I guarantee you. Some of them are pretty mind blowing. But AI is especially useful for people who are resource strapped, like one person teams. If you don't have an assistant, you don't have teams, you don't have like a whole team surrounding you. This can help you a lot. It can do a lot of the stuff that people can do. And I'm going to show you some really crazy examples that are going to really shock you guys. Brands with a high number of SKUs. This is kind of the opposite of the last point. It's basically if you have a high degree of complexity in your business. I know brands with like 100 plus, sometimes even multiple hundreds of SKUs or ASINs on Amazon, meaning products, like hundreds of products on Amazon. And it's like nearly impossible for them to keep them all updated, for them to stay up to date with all of them. If they did that every day, they'd have no time to do anything else, right? So one of the things that AI allows you to do is do things you already could do, but just 10 or 100 times faster. So it's really good for brands with a high degree of complexity or a lot of SKUs. Brands with really limited resources are brands that have fallen behind on updates. So if you have a lot of things where you're like, I know I should do this, I know I should do that, I know I should be re-updating the keywords optimization of my listings every quarter, but I have listings that I haven't touched in years. It's really good for those types of brands. What it's not going to help you do, it's not necessarily going to write the final draft of something for you better than a human. It's not going to generate plug and play content that you can just straight up copy and paste. In some cases it will, but most of the time you have to read it and, you know, alter it a little bit. Mostly what it does is gets you 80 to 90% of the way there. And then you just have to like take it over the finish line for a lot of the jobs that it'll do. But for some of the ones that don't have to do with content generation, you're going to see it literally just does the job for you. It's crazy. And then it's not yet at the point where it'll fully replace humans. If you do have a team, it's really just going to make your team more effective and in some cases dramatically more effective. So AI is going to help you iterate faster, stay up to date. So when you're falling behind, increase the effectiveness and efficiency of your team members, get ideas when you're running short of ideas, get a starting place to solve problems, and basically generate 10 times more content. Content is one of the biggest ways. All right, so now we'll get into the very nitty gritty of how to use Chat GPT in particular. For those of you that are unaware, Chat GPT is a text-based artificial intelligence chatbot. You guys can go to it now. It's free for everyone to use by going to chat.openai.com. And Gary, maybe you could pop that in the chat for them. So you can follow along with this. And you can actually, if you guys are really engaged, you can either do this on your phone or you can do this on the computer. Go to chat.openai.com. Gary will drop the link in the chat and you can just click it there. And you can test out some of these prompts that we're going to go through in this presentation. You can actually do them live with me right now. And I actually encourage you to. Just make sure that you don't fall behind. You can always go
Chris,
back.
we had a quick question. I mean, talking about Chat GPT, GPT, someone mentioned earlier, Raheem said, was trying to get into Chat GPT today, but it told me it was at maximum capacity. I don't know if it's,
Yeah, so that does happen from time to time with ChatGPT. It exploded faster than I think any free service in the history of the internet. It got like 5 million users within like a couple days of it launching. So it sometimes it is overloaded. There is a pro version that just launched for US based people. That's like $20 a month. But most of the time, if it's overloaded, you just have to wait a couple minutes and then try again. Or sometimes what I do is I'll try loading it on my computer, and if it doesn't work, I'll try loading it on my phone, and it works. So
it's working for me right now, guys. So Raheem, if it didn't work for you earlier, try to check it out.
I would try it again.
And this thing is like catching on like wildfire, and even my mom is on it, and she's like, "You got to get on ChatGPT." I'm like, I feel like I'm
really? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dude,
my
you
mom
have a cool mom.
is not. Yeah, she's not cutting edge. She's not like tech savvy person, but yeah. Sorry.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, so the first category of prompts. So prompts are what you write into the chat. That's what a prompt is. It's what you're asking in the chat. And this is the most important science to get to learn, to know how to actually effectively command artificial intelligence. And that's whether it's text-based artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, or image-based artificial intelligence like DALL-E, which is OpenAI's image generation AI, or tools like Midjourney, which is an image generation AI that's a lot more effective at creating beautifully designed images. Um, so the first category of prompts that you can use for your Amazon business are called summarize prompts. What they do is they make long text shorter. So an example of this is summarize the following article on new research about dogs, and then you paste the text of the article. This is really powerful. So imagine I have a dog brand, right? And I have a little email list of customers, and I'm trying to get my social media going so I can build an audience on Instagram or Facebook. Now I can basically go search Google Newsfeed for what articles came out about dogs in the last day. I can copy the text, I can get a summary of it, and then I can post that as my content or send it out to my email list as content, and instantly get engagement because it's new, it's relevant, it's information they hadn't known before, and you're linking back to the original article so that they can actually read the actual article, and you're citing the article, so you're not stealing the information. But it writes you a summary, and most of the time the summaries will be beautifully done. Like, they'll be really well done. And you can even, once you get the summary back, you can say things like make it more casual, or say it more playfully, or make it a little bit longer. Or you could say, do the summary again, but include bullet points for the main points of it instead of just a block of text. You can massage it. And going back to this other slide that we had before, ChatGPT, it's all about a conversation. So it's not just about asking ChatGPT for something and then getting one thing back. It's about conversing with it. It remembers everything that you said in the chat. So you can continue to massage the responses that you get out of that. And here's a little example of this. So watch me do this. I'm doing this on my phone, okay? So just pull up the screen right now if you guys clicked off. So you see I'm on Google Newsfeed. You're going to see me do this whole process, generate an entire piece of content in just a minute. So I just find an article about dogs showing real intelligence, and this just came out this day. So it's brand new, hot off the presses. I just copy the text in the article, and then I go back over to ChatGPT. I'm doing this all right on my phone. And I tell ChatGPT, summarize the following article. And then I just paste in the entire article. Now it's going to pop out a summary. And now that summary is my content. Now I can use this summary, linking back to the original article in my email, and that's valuable to my audience of dog lovers. Now they're finding out, all this evidence of intelligence in dogs. Dog lovers will go crazy over that content. So now instead of slaving over an email to send to my dog loving audience, or making a post about it or whatever, I can take 1 minute and generate unique content for my audience. I mean, it's
That's
so
very
powerful.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
super powerful, man. I mean, how good is that summary? I mean,
it's good.
is it,
It's really good.
it's really good. Okay. It's not just
Yeah.
like some like copy and paste, some like,
No,
weird mumbo
it's
jumbo. It actually
intuitive.
makes sense. It's intuitive.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like
Mm,
somebody read the article, understood it, and then
mm,
told you from their own words what it is. And like I
mm,
said, if you
mm.
if you think it's too long, or it's too wordy, or it's too technical, or it's even too casual, you can say, hey, make it more serious, or make it more funny, or make it bullet pointed. I do this thing
Yeah.
every year for I think I told you I do this, Gary, for 12 years. I've done this.
Yeah.
I take a solo retreat by myself, and at the beginning of the year, and I reflect on my whole last year, and I keep a journal. So I have, I mean, dozens and dozens, sometimes over 100 pages of journal entries sometimes even more than that from the year, and I review it all. So this year I went to Switzerland and I got a cabin, in the mountains, and I'm doing my solo retreat. And I used ChatGPT this year to input big journal entries, and I said, pull out the main principles from this. And it was crazy. I mean, I had a journal entry all about how I realized that I was bad at looking for things. And I've always been bad at looking for things. And all my girlfriends and, my family have always known, like, Chris is just bad at looking for things. And I asked it to pull out this principle, this story that I told about me being bad at looking for things. And it basically, like, it told me, like, well, the basic principle from this is that, Chris, you need to really settle into a problem instead of trying to rush through it. And if you are able to settle in and kind of meditatively understand the problem that you're in and not rush through it, you'll be able to solve problems better. It was like,
Mm.
whoa, dude, that's like serious insight, for
Yeah.
my life. And this is what I
Yeah.
want on my retreat. So I
Yeah.
used it really
Mm.
effectively for this. Other things you can do with the summarized types of prompts are summarize negative and positive reviews, summarize listing descriptions, or shorten long text on your listings or competitors' listings. Summarize reports and blogs to generate content for your audience. That's the one we went over. You can even say, like, say some type of regulator for your space. If you sell supplements and the FTC comes out with a new regulation and you can't understand it because it's so much legalese and it's just a big long block of text, you can just send it to ChatGPT and tell me, like, what do I need to know from this? And it'll just tell you in plain English. It's
Yeah.
really,
This
really
is great.
powerful.
This is great. And we have a question in the chat. Sinead asked, where did you type the information before sending it to ChatGPT?
I typed it right into ChatGPT. So what I did in this example that I showed you guys was I copied the text from an article and I pasted it into ChatGPT. And then I asked ChatGPT to summarize for me. So when you see this part
he
of
said,
the,
he said,
yeah.
he said, I meant during your trip. I think he meant like during your
During my
trip.
trip. Oh,
Yeah.
I keep all of my writings in Microsoft OneNote. That's how I use it. I've been thinking about migrating to Notion. I think a lot of people use Notion, but I've been using Microsoft OneNote for like 15 years now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Good
Yeah,
question.
I
Good
think,
question.
yeah, that's very technical. Yeah, good stuff, Sinead. And going back to your previous slide, Chris, the summarized prompts,
Yep.
I think this is super powerful in saving time, like especially point
Yes.
number one, like reviewing, like going through the reviews. I mean,
Yeah.
traditionally that's super time intensive. And, I would literally like read every single review, like, myself and copy and paste these ones. And I will like tick, okay, I'll put check marks. Okay, this one says, I don't know, the box size is too big or it's too small. And I will like count it. I mean, what can ChatGPT do to save me time in cases like that?
Yeah, basically you can put in like many different like reviews or many different entries and have it summarize like the meaning of the whole group of things.
Yeah.
So, and later on, actually in this deck, we're going to go into insights prompts, which is where it pulls out specific parts of the information. So we'll go even deeper into that. But specifically, a lot of times it's great just to make something that's too long a lot shorter.
Yeah.
And it's great for content.
Yeah. Time
So
saver.
yeah, so
Excellent.
I think that might be the next one in here, actually. Oh no. Okay. This one's really powerful. This is actually one of the main ways that the internet is using ChatGPT right now. They're called act as prompts. It's basically putting a hat on the AI. What they do is they make the AI take on a certain persona, and then you interact with that persona. So it's basically turning the AI into a certain person. So an example is, based on the following search terms, act as the ideal customer avatar for this product. And then you can continue to ask questions. Now, what kind of blogs do you follow? What kind of influencers do you follow? What other types of products would you buy? What price point would you pay for this product? And you're now interacting with your customer avatar. And you could feed it any data you want. You can even give it a link to a listing if the link is old enough, because ChatGPT has only been trained up to data through 2021. But you can put a lot of hats. I mean, your imagination is the only ceiling to this. So you could say, act as my customer avatar, act as a product research analyst, act as an Amazon SEO expert, act as a customer service representative, act as a product listing copywriter, act as a salesperson for this product. One of the things I like to do is use this last one, act as a salesperson for this product, and then I make it pitch me. And then I'm like a really hard prospect. So I keep saying no and pitch me more, and why should I buy this? Or it's too expensive. And I keep like putting up objections and seeing how it handles the objections. And it does it in a really surprisingly creative way. So the example I'll show you guys now is to act as a customer avatar. Follow-up questions are, what are your most common pain points? What influencers do you follow? What other brands do you buy? What blogs do you read? What other products would you buy? And the answers it comes up with are really insightful. You know, it used to be, it basically turns data into a person. Like a bunch of data now turns into a person that you can interact with just like you would a regular person. It's crazy. So yeah, you can see me. I just copied the URL of a listing. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have to copy in the actual keywords or the actual description of the product itself. But if the listing is old enough, then it will get it. So I said, act as the ideal customer avatar for the following product. And it then describes itself. I'm a health conscious home cook who values sustainability and natural materials. I enjoy preparing meals for my family. And it goes on and, you know, talks about what it is. And then I start asking follow-up questions. So I ask about the influencers. And so first it gives me this, you know, sometimes it gives you this response as an AI model. I don't have personal preferences, but then it goes on to give you an answer. So now it goes, influencers who focus on sustainable living, healthy cooking, eco-friendly products, wellness bloggers, chefs, foodies. Okay, some of this is a little obvious, right? So now I'm going to ask, what specific influencers might they follow? And this is what you have to do. You really have to press it. When you don't get the answer you want, you press and you go harder. And it will always give you some kind of answer, you know, no matter how wacky or how hard you press. So it's cool. So now look at this. It's giving me real influencers. Deliciously Ella, Sustainably Vegan, Minimalist Baker, The First Mess, Eco Vegan Girl, Zero Waste Chef, The Green Creator. So I don't know any of these. Now these are influencers that I can now look and reach out to do brand deals or find out what kind of products they're selling. Or I could find influencers like them and do brand deals with them. There's a whole host of things that I could do with this. I could even do targeted ads that target only people who follow them. So yeah, it's really powerful. Now I say, what specific blogs would they read? And it starts giving me some. Green Kitchen Stories, My New Roots, about whole food, Oshi Glows, healthy plant-based recipes, The First Mess, you know, and it goes on. So now again, I've got blogs. I can advertise on those blogs. I can try to get a guest post in those blogs that mention my products. I can reach out to them and try to do affiliate deals with them. Or I can just look at them to research my customer avatar so that I'm better able to launch new products and speak my customer's language. The customer avatar exercise is one of the most powerful exercises an Amazon seller can do. So now I say, what other brands would they buy? And so you see how this turns into a conversation. So they start giving me brands. You see All Clad, La Crusette, Bamboo. And it gives me some answers, right? So again, now I can look at these brands. I could see what other products they're launching. And that gives me ideas for my new product launch. Or you could even, if they're complementary and not competing, you could do cross promotion deals where you say, hey, we'll blast out our list, your products, you blast out your list for our products. So, and it's giving us West Elm, Patagonia. So I'm noticing these are pretty big brands, some of these. You're not going to do a cross promotion deal with Patagonia. That's a huge outdoor company, right? So I say, what are some smaller brands they might follow, they might buy from? Because, you know, the brands have to be more on my level so that I could do deals with them, right? So now it starts giving me some. I haven't heard of any of these. Wild Minimalist, Eco Bamboo, Earth Hero. So now it's giving me brands that are more on my level that I'm actually probably able to actually do deals with or or that their customers will be more likely to have overlap with my customers, right? So you could see how putting a hat on the AI like this, especially with this customer avatar conversation, it's so powerful. It can really have a powerful impact on your understanding of your customer, and also your ability to just really legitimately just straight up make sales. Like this can help you like find prospects to do deals with, and help you figure out what next product to launch and all kinds of other things. So the act
Very
as
cool.
prompts, really powerful.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. I think it helps you like understand the avatar, your
Yeah.
customer avatar, not just like other competing brands, but they
Hmm.
also shop like for furniture at West Elm, and
Yeah.
they're
Right.
like going camping like Patagonia. It's like additional,
Complimentary
really
stuff as
getting,
well.
yeah, it's like really getting into the mind of your
Yeah.
avatar. It's like really deep, not just like in their cooking, but other lifestyles. So yeah, I'm still processing this right now, but I didn't know that it went beyond that, because if we were to like research that like traditionally, it would literally take me like weeks, or just like hunting around the internet. But the fact that you can get on that rabbit trail immediately, that's really awesome.
It's powerful. Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest sellers that I know, his name's Brett. He's in the Titan Mastermind with me. And he sold his company for over $100 million, his basket of brands. And one of the most powerful exercises that he did was the customer avatar exercise. And
Yeah,
he would create like a 10 different tab Excel sheet where he really
yeah,
specifically defined his customer avatar and like what they worry
exactly.
about when they sleep at night, and
Yeah,
what's the first thing they think about in the morning, and all kinds of crazy stuff like that, and give
yeah,
them a name and all of that. This
yeah,
allows you to do that without a big spreadsheet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a couple of comments in the chat. Andy had a technical issue with your PC, stuck at documentation. I'm not sure if we can help you with that. Maybe try to restart or refresh the page. Ginger commented, I usually ask per platform for influencers. That's kind of
Mm,
interesting, like
good.
really narrowing down.
That's
Ginger, if
great.
you want to
Yeah.
expand on that, feel free to drop in the chat. Greg said, I just asked it to be a customer avatar for my URL at Amazon, and it responded on a totally different product. How
Yeah.
accurate do you find this is, Chris, in your experience?
It's good at doing what it does, but it's not good at reading URLs. So in my example, the URL worked, but normally
Mhm.
you'll want to paste in the actual content that you wanted to analyze,
Okay.
because ChatGPT was only trained on data through the year of 2021. So the
Mm,
reason that person, you put in a URL
yeah.
and it came back with a different product is that
Interesting.
that URL used to exist for a different product,
Yeah.
or
I see.
redirected
I
to
see.
a different product
Okay.
from
That's a huge
2021.
point, Chris. I mean, for those of you
Yeah.
guys that didn't catch that, it's only trained until the year 2021, which was
Mhm.
like 2 years ago. And the whole world
Mhm.
has changed so quickly, and we were still stuck in the middle of the pandemic, and arguably, whatever, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
is ChatGPT evolving, or is it just stuck in 2021?
It's trained through data through the end of 2021. So it's a year
Okay.
plus ago. So it's a year and a
Okay.
month ago.
Okay.
And they're I don't know if they're going to, so what it's not good at doing
Hmm.
is current events. You wouldn't
Mm,
say, "Hey, ChatGPT, what's happening around in my town tonight?" That's
yeah.
not something you would use it for. You really use ChatGPT to do work for you. You
Mm,
know, you wouldn't really care if there was an employee at your company that did awesome work for your company, but they just aren't current with events, right? It's
yeah.
it's it's
Yeah.
like that. That's the way you want to think about it. It's doing
Got
work.
it. Got it.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this type of prompt actually, Gary, is what you were starting to get at before, which was like so you're definitely thinking about this in the right way. These insights prompts, these pull principles or themes from bulk text input. So an example is analyze the following 3 customer reviews and determine the top 3 benefits of the product that are most valued by the customer. And then you paste in the review text. So you could say, pull out top themes from a long review or a series of reviews. You can pull out the most valued features of a product. You can pull out the most valued benefits of a product. You can pull out the most common use cases of a product. You can pull out the major takeaways of an industry article. But it's basically similar to the summarized prompts, but the summarized prompts is just making long text shorter. This is pulling specific keys that you need from bulk text.
Mm. Mm.
So here's an example of this, and you guys are going to love this one. So what I do here is I take the critical reviews from a product, all of the top voted critical reviews. I took all of the top voted ones, and I say, summarize the key pain points for customers who bought this product based on your analysis of the following reviews. And then I paste in all the reviews. Now, these reviews are the top voted critical reviews. So not only are these critical reviews written by real customers, but they are also voted by other customers to be the most helpful. So you know that these represent the whole body of customers that purchase this product, because they're written by customers and they were voted by other customers to be most helpful. So this is really valuable data, right? But getting what like matters from it is hard. So I say, what are some more? So it gives us some pain points. I say, what are some more pain points? And it says, you know, I'm going to back up here so I can read some of these to you guys. So it says key pain points for the customers include issues with lifetime warranty, requiring a Facebook Messenger account, splintering, receiving a used board, end caps wearing off, and molding easily. This is really valuable information if I'm designing a product, right? I'm checking my competitor's product, and now I know what the main issues customers have with this product are, just from copying in like a big bulk text of a bunch of reviews that were top voted and asking ChatGPT to give me insights from it. So I say, what are more pain points? And it says, getting rid of splinters despite following customer support instructions, disappointment in the quality of the cutting boards, despite being advertised as free from environmentally, this is a little bit of a glitch. Issues with the cutting boards falling apart within 3 to 4 months of use, lack of professional contact with the brand. So they had customer support issues, difficult with the company resolving issues. Now I say, what design improvements should I make, or should the brand make, to resolve these issues, or to resolve customer issues? Now I'm making ChatGPT do the thinking for me.
Mm.
So now it says, to resolve customers' issues, the brand could consider the following improvements. Make the lifetime warranty available to customers without requiring the Facebook Messenger account. Okay, that was causing a lot of negative reviews. Make the cutting board harder to minimize life marks. Improve the quality of the cutting board to minimize splintering and warping. Ensure that all boards are properly inspected before packaging and shipping to avoid sending used boards. Let's just go back. Improve customer support and responsiveness. Provide clear instructions and solutions to customers who face issues with splinters or warping. Develop more sustainable and eco-friendly approach for the product, and improve the durability of the product to last longer. So I can continue to press it. I can say, okay, what are more design changes? Or what are the top 3 design changes? Or what are some more creative design changes? And you can continue to press until you get ideas that are truly unique for you. So that's one of my top favorite ways to use ChatGPT. Okay, cool. So do we have any questions that we want to handle, Gary, or should we keep going?
Yeah, we had one question from Russ. What was the question Chris asked when he pasted the Amazon URL? This is your earlier question.
Okay, that was not a question. That was an act as prompt. So I said, act as the ideal customer avatar for this product. And then I pasted the URL. But instead of that, if you can't use the URL, then you could say, act as the ideal customer avatar for the following product. And then you paste in the description of the product. Or you can say, act as the ideal customer avatar for a customer who searches these terms. And then you type in the top 20 search terms that lead to your product, like from Helium 10, the top 20 most searched terms for your product.
Yeah.
And it does the same thing.
Okay, excellent. And Roan had a comment. You mentioned that Chat GPT will not write as human, thus a demand to still rewrite whatever content it comes up with. when time comes that every seller on Amazon uses ChatGPT for content writing, won't there be massive redundancy in results? Is there a workaround to alert me that a seller is already using the write-up that ChatGPT has given me?
Honestly, ChatGPT can continuously come up with more and more organic, like original content. It's
Mm,
not, so there are tools that allow you to scan that can help identify AI generated content, but there are other tools like Quillbot is one of these that you can use to uh, disguise AI generated content so it cannot be detected. And it's hard to kind of comprehend this because this is, a lot of people think this, like if everybody's using ChatGPT, then everyone's going to sound the same. But it's not really the case. Like ChatGPT can continuously come up with like original content. It's like a person. So you can keep coming up with more things. You can keep pressing it more, make it more creative, make it sound like a LA gangster wrote it. So like it's literally like limitless. It's not like
mm,
everyone's going to sound the same because everyone's using ChatGPT. It just makes them work faster. So you, when you think of chatbots, you think of the chatbots that you knew back in the day, or you think of, you know, like Google search results or something like that. It's not like that. It's like dealing with a person. So when people think, oh, once everyone uses this, then we'll go back to like people generating content will be like the most valuable thing. Not the case. That learning how to use this is critical for everybody because you can make it get more creative, and you can also have it do 80% of the work and then you finish off the last 20%.
yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. It's almost like, that old analogy, like, flying a plane, right? You have autopilot, but you still need like the human touch, like the pilot to kind of fine tune it. But,
Mm,
most of the work is generated by autopilot. So, maybe
right,
Chat
right.
GPT can be something like that, right? You can autopilot or
Yeah.
Chat GPT like maybe 80% of your listing, but you gotta still finesse it and you make sure everything makes sense and you gotta point it in the right direction. You kind of
Yep.
gotta be like the boss, so to speak. So
That's why
yeah.
prompt engineering is so key. You guys are
Mm,
going to hear this term prompt engineering over and over again for the rest of your lives. This
mm,
is like a science that will spawn whole careers. There'll be whole jobs just for people who are dedicated to prompt engineering. And this is what we're going over right now. Like you guys are now learning prompt engineering.
yeah,
And being a good prompt engineer is like the critical element to having good command over AI.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with that said, we can go on to the next category, which is solution prompts, or I like to call these labor prompts. These are the ones where ChatGPT is literally just doing work for you. Like these are the ones that actually like are replacing a person. Like these are the things you would have to have a person do if it weren't for ChatGPT. So here's some examples. So this is a type of prompt that gives the AI a task or a job, and it has it generate the solution or do the job on the spot. So an example is generate a Google Sheet formula that pulls the phone number out of a long text cell and reformats it to display properly as a phone number with country code, area code, etc. So you can have it write Google Sheet formulas for you. Like now you are now the greatest Google Sheets or Excel expert in the world because you can ask in plain English for a formula that does literally anything and it will give it to you, even if it's highly, highly complex. So, so Google Sheets formulas. An example is reformat this draft with proper HTML, line breaks, and paragraphs, or fix the grammar of this email, or translate this text into Spanish, include character and some street slang. Some other examples from sellers that I know are write a cease and desist letter to the seller who's infringing on my trademark, and write a case to Amazon seller support that is requesting that this other seller take down their listing because they're infringing on my IP. And you will be shocked at how good it is at writing cases to Amazon seller support and writing things like legal cease and desist letters. It's great at it. Another thing you could do, I have an example. I have this white paper. I'll drop the link to it in the chat so you guys can view it. But I wrote a whole white paper on all my favorite prompts. It includes a lot of the ones that you see in this presentation and many, many more. It's called the
Wow.
Underground Guide to ChatGPT.
You wrote that?
I wrote it. Yeah, the Underground Guide to ChatGPT for Amazon
Okay.
sellers.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right. So I know you put a ton of hours into this, right? You're not
I
just like,
did.
you
Yeah.
didn't just like whip this up last night.
No. It's like 8 pages long. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's like
Yeah, please
dense,
do
like
share.
single
I
space.
mean, I'm personally interested. If anyone else is interested, please let us know in the chat. I just thought of something. Can this thing help us negotiate? What if we want to negotiate,
Yes.
with our supplier? Can this thing help us?
Yes, 100%. That's one of the best use cases. So you can say, I actually have this in the white paper. So I'll go through a few negotiation examples. So you could say, I just got this email from an influencer we're negotiating a brand deal with. They want to do $500 a post, but we can't afford that. Write an email back to them that counter offers $250 a post and stresses the importance of our long-term relationship. Make sure to be cordial but firm and include a little bit of scarcity. And then it'll write the entire email, and it's well written too. And it does everything you say. It'll include the scarcity. It'll make it very cordial and polite, but also be firm. So for supplier negotiation, it's the same thing. You just put what you want as the end result, what you want as the style or vibe, and then you allow it to produce the content. So you could say, write an email to it. You have to give it the background context, right? So you could say, our supplier makes doggy bag holders for my Amazon brand. They're located in Shenzhen. We've been with them for 2 years, and they're trying to up the price on us on a per unit basis. Write an email to them that rejects the price increase and requests payment terms and storage local on the spot for future orders. Stress that we have different options for suppliers and we'd like to continue sending our business to them, and include that we are forecasting to double our sales in the next year. And it'll write the entire thing. So it's
Can it write in Chinese? Can I translate that into Chinese?
It can write in most languages. I believe I haven't tried Chinese. But yeah, there's a lot of that's a really good question. I want to try Mandarin.
I gotta test that. I mean, if what Chris said, if what Chris said is true, like that whole negotiations letter in Chinese, ChatGPT probably just killed off like 100 million jobs. Because like all of the the sourcing agents, all of the people that like trading companies, if it can literally do that, if it can use Alibaba to find me the best supplier for this coffee cup, based on this price terms, based on this, that, the reviews, blah blah blah. If we can do that, that's killer. Joy says yes, it can write in Chinese. Shinedu says I tried Japanese, it did. A lot of people want the white paper, Chris, so if you want to share that later, a lot of people in the chat.
Sure.
And then Joy also asked, maybe we have a copy of the 100 tasks for Chat GPT from Chris. That's do you have that?
Yep, I do. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know we're almost out of time, and Chris still has a lot to cover, so let's keep going. Just cover as much as we can. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah. We'll get to some of that. I go way deeper in the white paper, so you guys can read that. So don't worry about it. If you miss something or something like that, you'll see it all in there. So yeah, just to show you guys like one of the examples of ChatGPT doing actual work for you. So this is me asking it to write a Google Sheets formula that takes a string of text, pulls out the phone number from the text, and then reformats it as a phone number, right? And so this isn't trivial. You have to scan like a string of text that might have a bunch of other text in it, and there's a phone number mixed in there, right? And this is just an example of how to use this to help you write Google Sheets, but there's so many tasks it could help you with, and it just pops it out. So I don't even know this formula, right? Regex replace, never heard of it before, but there it is. And now I just copy and paste that into my Google Sheets. So instead of like learning how to do things, you can now just have ChatGPT do it for you without you having to even learn it ever. It's pretty powerful. So the next one is content creation prompts. This is what like most people know of ChatGPT for. They create content for you based on a goal. So you could say, For example, writing a listing. Write 5 long, detailed, playful bullet points for this product that include the below list of features and benefits. Ensure that the copy leads the reader to purchase. And then when it gives it to you, you can, again, do follow-up prompts. So I'll show you guys an example of this. But you can also have it say, you can say, write a product insert with an offer. Write the bullet points to the content of a listing. You can write the email to your audience, including an offer or a message, or write social media posts. Or even, it doesn't have to be text-based. You could say, write the script for a video ad or a product video. And you can even have it write shot lists and things like that. So it doesn't have to be text-based. It can describe in text other types of content, like video content as well. So I'll show you guys an example of this. So this is one that I'm using to have it write a product insert. Or no, this example that I have here is an email. There's another one that I have in the white paper for product inserts. So I say, write an email for National Dog Day to customers of a brand that sells dog leashes and dog accessories. Make it witty, funny, and full of personality and character. Make sure to include a promotion. And then it gives it to me. And it's cheeky, it's funny. It's got character, it's not dry. But again, most of the time, you don't want to just take the first answer you get. You want to press it or have it add something or remove something. So most of the time, it becomes a conversation that you go back and forth with. But this is a really good start, right? Instead of writing an email for yourself, you have an originally written email that you can start with now. And the content example, I really want to show you guys the product insert example, which I think I have. Let me see if I could just pull this up with you guys here right now. Should have it here. So, all right, it's not going to come right up, but I'm going to have to share it to you guys in the chat, and you'll be able to see it on your own. But so next type is content editing prompts. This is another one that saves a ton of time. So this will rewrite existing content, but including certain elements that you need to add in, like, for example, keywords. So you could say, add the list of keywords below to the following 5 Amazon bullet points. Then you give it a list of keywords and you give it the bullet points. And it just adds it in an elegant way. So you don't have to rack your brain about how to think about how you should rewrite these bullet points and elegantly weave in these keywords and not make it sound awkward. It just does it for you. And it sounds nice and not awkward. So you can use this to pull out the top themes from a long review, or sorry, these ones are the insights prompts. But let me show you an example of this. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking my bullet points, right? And then I'm copying them into the Chat GPT box. But first I'm asking it to rewrite these Amazon listing bullet points, but include the keywords below. And what I do is I go to my Amazon PPC search terms report, and I pull the keywords that are having the highest click-through rate and conversion rate over the past 2 months. And so now I'm literally able to update my Amazon listing with the highest converting keywords on a regular basis. I can now do this quarterly, and it takes me like a couple minutes per quarter per listing. So see, I'm going to my search terms report, finding the keywords that are converting the best over the past few weeks or whatever. I copy these in to ChatGPT, and some of them are not in the listing, right? Some of these, like edible or food grade or chips, and I give it the bullet points, I give it the keywords, and it just rewrites them all point by point. And it doesn't make it sound awkward or anything like that. It sounds well done. It just elegantly weaves them in. So this is really powerful. This is what I was saying. It's really good for brands with like tons of SKUs. because now you can keep your listings updated with the highest converting keywords now at all times. And a monkey could do this. Like you could literally train anybody. So, and you could train a VA to just do this exact process, and they don't have to be a good writer or anything to be able to do this. And so now you just implement this process and boom, you guarantee that all of your listings are always up to date with the highest converting keywords all the time. It's powerful.
That's huge. I mean, that's one thing I've been slacking on, updating
Yeah,
my
everyone
listings,
does.
like, every quarter, or, like going from holiday, listing copywriting to, like, January,
Right.
like
That's
winter
another
time,
thing, seasonal.
seasonal, right?
Yep, that's huge. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right. So the next category is advice prompts. This is treating the AI like Oracle, like the Oracle from the Matrix. So an example of this is, given that I'm an Amazon seller currently selling this product, what would be the next product I should launch with the biggest profit opportunity? Or you could ask, hey, I'm a seller. I'm doing $50,000 in Amazon in doggy poop bag accessories. How do I get to a $5 million valuation in my brand? And it'll give you a bunch of ways. And then you could say, what are some more creative ways? And then you could say, oh, I like way number 3 that you put in there. Write a whole business plan for that one. And you can go deeper and deeper and deeper in this. So these types of prompts allow you to generate ideas about a challenge or a goal, find ways to reduce shipping costs, giving information, determine how to get an edge in supplier negotiation, figure out what kinds of promotions to run in the upcoming months, determine which next products you should launch. And I'm not remembering which example I included in here. I believe it might have been the supplier one. Oh, okay. So I say here, I'm asking for margin advice. I'm saying my product shipping, packaging, and FBA fees are too high. As an Amazon seller, what can I do to increase the cost? So I said increase the cost associated with packaging, shipping, and fulfilling my product. So this is a really cool example. I remember doing this. So I messed it up, right? I said increase the cost. I meant decrease the cost, but it understood what I meant. That's the crazy thing. It's really good about intent. Even though I mistyped here, it understood my intent asking this question, which is really like impressive. So I give it more context. We sell dog poop bags that come in a small cardboard box. They're manufactured in China and they're sold in the US on Amazon.com. And so it gives me, there's several strategies you can use to reduce the costs associated with shipping, packaging, and fulfilling your products online. Optimize your product packaging using smaller, more lightweight package materials to reduce the overall weight, helping you lower shipping costs. Use FBA. That's a very regular one that we all know. Negotiate with your supplier, negotiate lower costs and materials manufacturing, bundle multiple products together to increase the value of each shipment. Use the right shipping method. Different shipping methods have different costs. Utilize Amazon's multi-channel fulfillment. Optimize your product weight and dimensions. Compare the cost of shipping from different regions. Okay, so these are some pretty good ideas. I could have thought of them on my own. But it's still good to generate some ideas. But so now I say, what are 5 more creative ways to decrease my costs? Because I want it to go out of the box here. So now it's getting us some weirder, more out of the box examples. Partner with other sellers. Partner with other sellers to share the cost of shipping, help you save on costs while also increasing your product reach. Now, I've done this before. That's a legitimate strategy. In Masterminds, you can get with other sellers, you can share containers and share shipping costs if you can arrange it right. Utilize Amazon's product bundling. And this is actually a really good idea as well. You save a lot on shipping when you bundle products together. Use Amazon's subscription service. Now, this will only apply to people who qualify for it, but again, that works. Utilize Amazon's add-on item program. If your product is smaller and expensive, you can enroll it in the add-on item program, allowing you to lower your shipping costs. Utilize Amazon's custom calculation. And so you can see, I can just keep pressing it more and more, come up with more and more creative ways. when you guys see the white paper, you're going to see I have an example in there about asking it for advice on how to get to a $5 million valuation for a brand doing 50,000 a month in revenue on one SKU. And I keep pushing it for more and more creative out of the box examples until it's coming up with some stuff that you would never think of. And some of it is completely unreasonable and unrealistic. But other things are like, hey, that's actually not a bad idea. Why don't we explore that? Some of them actually cracked me up. You guys might crack up for some of them as well. So here's the inception moment. I used advice prompts to help me write this presentation. I asked ChatGPT about ChatGPT. And so yeah, there's a big question about like how much work a person is actually doing and how much they're just a channel for AI in the future. So here I'm asking, what are the best and most creative ways that Amazon sellers can use ChatGPT to help them with their business? Now, I'm not going to play through this whole thing. It gives a bunch of different reasons. And again, I press it and get even more creative ways. But yeah, you guys can try this on your own. All right. Well, I don't know how that got in there. Okay. Yeah, I think that we are at the end. Yeah.
All right.
So
excellent.
There we go.
Thank you, Chris. Super eye-opening presentation. I think there's a lot of value, a lot of opportunities that sellers can use Chat GPT to capture.
Totally.
I saw a lot of comments in the chat. People are using it already. Someone wrote a whole like 36 recipe ebook with Chat GPT, and she tested. If you need the recipes were overall they were great. And couple other quick questions. But before we get to questions, I know we're almost out of time. I know, thank you for this eye-opening AI Chat GPT, actual use, training, what we can do. So number one, next steps. Like you mentioned, you have your white paper. How can we get that?
I'll drop it in the chat right now.
Okay.
And then you could put it in the description of the replay, Gary.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm dropping it in here right now.
Yeah. And people like Greg says, wow. Rick says paradigm shift, incredible. Gary says, thank you, great info. Rick says, well done, Gary. I mean, well done, Chris. I'm just facilitating. And okay, Chris just dropped the link in the chat. So guys, make sure if you want Chris's white paper, you can tell he spent like hours and hours into this underground guide to ChatGPT for Amazon. So make sure you grab that. Rick, thank you for being a facilitator. Yes, for me being a facilitator. Great. Excellent. Chris, I know you got, besides ChatGPT, you and your agency has a very cool PPC challenge. Do you want to share a little bit more about that? Because I know some people had questions about using PPC with Chat AI and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So we actually go over some AI strategies inside the challenge. This is a 5-day challenge format. Unlike any kind of 5-day challenge like anybody in this space has ever heard of. It's an 8-to-1 participant to mentor ratio. So everybody comes with their PPC problems to get them solved. We have a 24/7 chat, all full of PPC mentors, all with millions of dollars of ad spend under their belt that help sellers with their particular issues throughout the 5 days. But also I'm presenting like really cutting edge PPC strategies throughout the time. And these are based on my PPC managers. I run an entire PPC management organization called Sophie Society. And my PPC managers, we have an internal mastermind where we find out what's working the best now and we share it with each other, and all the PPC managers share with each other. And I basically take that internal playbook, and for this one time, 5 days, I share it throughout 5 days. It is only for sellers who have currently active products and currently active ad spend. And you do have to commit to showing up each day. It's not something where you can just have it on the background and watch the replays. We'd rather just, do it next time if you don't have the time. But for those that are really committed to improving their PPC, this is the best way that you possibly can do it. And so there's live sessions each day where I present and I pull in some of my best managers to present strategies that are working now and a framework for how to think of PPC. And then every day we have live office hours where you come in and you actually get your problem solved. And then there's a 24/7 private chat where you can actually interact with the mentors asynchronously throughout the entire 5 days. So it's really, really the best format. We put all of our heart and soul into this event to make it the best Amazon PPC event and most relevant PPC event that works on the strategies that only work right now. So any of you guys that are really dedicated to really mastering your PPC or getting your PPC cleaned up, this is it. This is what you want.
Excellent. I just dropped the link in the chat, the 5-day PPC challenge with Chris Rawlings, Sophie Society. Check out the link below, ppcchallenge.sophiesociety.com/ppc-challenge that starts. Just click on the link, guys. Link will be below. That will be easier. Early bird ticket price ends February 10th, right, Chris?
It's February 20th through February 24th.
Okay.
Yes.
February 20th to the 24th. And a question from Craig. Chris, for those of us whose sleep time is when the challenge sessions are run live, is watching replays workable?
So we require everyone to be there live. However, if you are unable to make it for some reason, like work or family, you can write into the moderators and they will give you a private link to view, but you have to view it within 24 hours. And the reason is because we have actual assignments and exercises to be done that the moderators and mentors hold you accountable to each day. So you just fall off track if you don't view them by the next day. So you could, if you have a reason, the mods will give you the replay. You just have to commit that you're going to watch it, at some point during that day.
Excellent. All right. So we're a little bit over time. I just wanted to thank Chris, first of all, for this excellent training today. We got a ton of positive feedback. Melody says, thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate your hard work for us. Dale says, we are just at the beginning of a new frontier in this area.
I agree.
Juliet says, thank you so much. Jackie says, that was so good. Ginger said, awesome content. Thanks. Rowan says, thank you. You are
great gang. We got a good group here. Good
and
engaged group. I'm glad.
We have to find the right people to add value like you, Chris. So, it goes both ways. And Rowan says, thank you. You are amazing. Can we find you in LinkedIn to follow you? How can people follow you?
I dropped it in there. Yeah, I just dropped a LinkedIn in there. And people who are not in LinkedIn, you can find me on Instagram. I'm Hippie Mogul. I'll type that in as well. So that's my Instagram. If you don't have
that's the perfect avatar for Chris, the Hippie Mogul.
Yeah. Right. That's why I chose it. Yeah.
All right. I just want to see if there were any other questions in the chat that I did not address. I think Chinedu had a question earlier about the quality of the translation in Spanish. If you're not like a native speaker, how will you know if it's correct if you don't know the language?
That's a tough one because it can make mistakes. You saw in some of my examples, sometimes it'll throw something in there that's a little awkward. Like it does need to be read before being uploaded. And that is a challenge with it. So the answer is you have one of two choices. If you're using it for translation, you either take the risk and just use it, or you take the copy and you have someone who knows Spanish just look over it, which is exponentially less expensive than having someone who knows Spanish write it from scratch, right? So what I understand, and I have not used it for translation very much personally yet. I only did a couple tests for the purposes of this presentation and the white paper. But my understanding from sellers who I've spoken to is that it is doing a fairly good job, at least for Spanish. And that's the only language that I've spoken to sellers who have used it for. So I think we need to keep using it to find out really truly how good it is with the translations and how trusting it is.
Yeah, for sure. And some people already signed up. Jason Hu says already signed up. And Andy says, we'll
Nice.
see you on the PPC course. Dale asks, can we do this again in a few months or even sooner? This is moving so very, very fast. Thanks. Maybe we should come back and revisit this, and maybe like second half.
I gotta agree.
It's
moving so fast. It's really like shocking how quickly it's moving. And I feel like I put in the underground white paper that I'll keep it updated. So what I put together a private WhatsApp chat for Chat GPT Amazon seller enthusiasts with my friend Andrew. I'm happy to add you, Gary. I'm happy to add any of you guys actually if you want to. Just shoot me a message because it is on WhatsApp. So I need your WhatsApp number in order to add you. So just shoot me a message on either the Instagram I dropped in there or LinkedIn is fine. Because I'm sure nobody wants to share their WhatsApp in a Zoom chat. But share me your WhatsApp number in there, and I'm happy to add you in. But we're just got to be a seller, and you got to be nerding out about ChatGPT. Those are only two things required for this group chat.
I think everybody in this room ticks those two boxes. So
it seems like it.
Yeah, excellent. And the book, again, the link to Chris's white paper is above, so make sure you grab that before we close this out. We'll send the replays out to everybody that signed up. Also be available on our YouTube channel. So thank you for that. And then just a quick word. This session today is brought to you by the 7-Figure Seller Japan Mastermind. As some of you guys know, we are doing the first ever Amazon Japan conference in Tokyo this April 4th to the 5th. So if you're already a seller selling in US Amazon or EU Amazon, this will be the best chance for you to fast track selling into Japan. It'll be 2 days. I will drop the link in the chat if you want to check it out. It's a huge opportunity for a lot of sellers. And I know many people in the room here have already signed up. I know the Carol's going to be there. Tornado's going to be there. I think Mansoor is going to be there. So don't miss out, guys. This is going to be like the first movers going into Japan.
I'm really excited for this. Really excited for this. It is.
We would love to get you. Yeah, we would love to get you in Tokyo as well, Chris, if you can. That will be.
I'm trying to make it happen because I'm really passionate about this concept. I think it's a huge opportunity for sellers because most people are scared of it, so they don't go after it.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, great job, Chris. Thank you everybody for joining us. Good luck to everybody to experiment with AI and ChatGPT, and we will see you guys at the next session. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.